Hello, and welcome to my playthrough of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Vasko here, and I'm actually going to be doing a bit of a different challenge, since I recently posted a video where I talked about who I think the third starter of this series would be. I'm actually going to play through this game with that said third starter. One thing I love about the start screen is you can actually see your Eevee walk around, and if you customize your Eevee, it'll actually have whatever customizations it's wearing at the start screen. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the story, and I will explain things in the game as we go on. I don't know if you heard that, but that is actually coming from the Pokeball which I got along. And as you can see, I will be starting from about 10 minutes into the game. Ignore the Pokédex part. So here I am in Oak's lab. You would usually start in your house, but as you can see, instead of just my Eevee on my head, I have a Clefairy with me. Hello Clefairy, and this Clefairy is nicknamed Billy after you know who you are, Billy, but she is my first Patreon and I'm really grateful, so I have decided to nickname my first Pokemon after that very first person. So thank you so much, and basically for the rest of this game I will show you my team. For the rest of this game, I will treat Billy as my starter Pokemon. Eevee will be in my bag, so I will have no access to Eevee apart from its outside moves and interactions, which I will show off to you guys. And since the starting is a bit different, this is a Pokemon game. The way Pokemon games work is you have your main character, which is me right there. You got your starter Pokemon, and they didn't used to follow you except for there's like one game where the starter follows you. Two actually. This is the third game, and this time any Pokemon can follow you around, not just your starter. You also have Professor Oak, who will give you a Pokédex, and the main story, the main plot of this game is for you to complete the Pokédex, which for this region has 153 Pokemon, including the new Meltan and its evolution, whose name I forgot. You also have your rival, which in this game is Friendly, and I have decided to name my rival Fyrus, because I didn't know what to name him, and I asked a random server and Fyrus popped in and said, name it after me. I was like, you know what, Fyrus is pretty nice. He's not really a rival, but he's a chill dude, you guys should check him out. So Fyrus says, as for me, I want to catch tons of different Pokemon, but I want to train him up to be strong too. Heh. And you usually have your area where you pick your starters, and we got Eevee in the center, Pikachu in the left, and Clefairy, which it doesn't tell us what the Pokemon actually is. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a Clefairy, on the right. So I will be starting out this game from this point, which is right after delivering Oak's parcel, and this is also the first time you get to encounter a battle. So we get interrupted by Fyrus. Wait up! Come on Vasko, do you know you can do more with Pokemon than just catch them, right? If you're a trainer, you have Pokemon battles with other trainers too. I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's battle time. And we have the beautiful introductory to the battle music, which sounds very reminiscent of the original battles. You can see the trainer sprite, and unlike other games, I think you actually have to specifically press A to continue from this screen, otherwise it's like a nice little pause. And you can see him toss out his starter, Pikachu, and we're gonna toss out our starter, Billy, which I caught in an Ultra Ball. So the way battling works is you have three options. You can choose to fight, which will let you pick a move to use. You can choose Pokemon, which will let you switch out if you have any different team members. You can also view the Pokemon you have, so you can see their stats, and don't worry about all the other stuff, I'll talk about that later, all the stats. And the final option is the bag, where you have items you can drop, such as potions, but I don't have any items right now. Instead, we're just gonna focus on our battle, and I will go for a Pound, which is a physical attack, and it does some physical damage to the Pikachu. It's gonna go for a Thunder Shock, which is an electric attack, significant, but look, it did no damage to us. One thing I did for this Clefairy is when I caught it, I made sure it had perfect IVs, and then I trained it up a little. I'll talk about IVs later on in the game, but it's basically as strong as Eevee, if not a bit stronger. What? Did I lose? You got 120p for winning. So you get money every time you win a battle, and you lose money if you lose a battle, so you gotta be careful not to lose. Ha geez. There I went, mouthing off, like I knew everything. And then I lost. How embarrassing. I probably should have trained my Pokemon up a bit before trying a battle like that, huh? Let's battle again sometime. Did you enjoy your first taste of battle, young Vasko? Your partner Eevee seemed to like it. And this is it for the first battle. There's also 3 aides in the lab. Professor Oak may not look like much, but he's the authority on Pokemon. Many Pokemon trainers think highly of him. And then there's this guy having his matcha tea. I also study Pokemon as Professor Oak's assistant. And then there's this last guy, who's my favorite, because he's just studying the spotted plant over here. I also study Pokemon as Professor Oak's assistant. I don't think that's a Pokemon, my dude, but okay. And here we are, in Pallet Town. There's only a couple of people walking around. There's actually just these two. There's this guy who's the technology's incredible guy. He's appeared in every single game in the first city of every game. And this time he tells you that you can connect your smartphone to your game console and send data between them. That's pretty cool if you have Pokemon Go. If you don't have Pokemon Go, it doesn't matter. And then you have this girl right here. I'm raising Pokemon too. When they get strong, they'll be able to protect me. So that is all the talk we have. This is your house. And your mom's in here and she will heal your Pokemon if you talk to her. Hi, Mom. It looks like you're having fun on your journey with your Pokemon, Vasko. But if they're fully healed, she's just gonna say, looks like you're having fun. Thanks, Mom. Your TV's on, showing a movie about 4 boys walking down a set of railroad tracks. I have no clue what that is referencing, but it's time to get on going. And upstairs is your own room. This looks very, very well made graphic-wise. Some people are complaining that the game is just like a revamp, but I do enjoy what it looks like. And this used to be Gary's house, but now it is your rival's house, Fyrus. And when you go inside, there is a book and there is a beautiful picture. Look at how adorable this is. It's your rival cuddling a Rattata and having a heck of a time. And you can also see the map of the Kanto region. Now usually his sister is in here, but since this is the start of your journey, this is Fyrus' sister right over here. What's she gotta say? Hey, Vasko. Oh, just look at that Eevee. You two are really looking like great partners. Too bad I'm not using it in this game. And I've got the perfect little gift for such a great team. Here, take this. I got sportswear from your friend's big sister. Put the sportswear in the clothing trunk and try putting that on Eevee. You can go on an adventure in matching clothes. And look at the Eevee, look how happy. So this is another cool customization feature. The Eevee will jump on you, and this Eevee I've nicknamed Luna. You can actually play with your Eevee by selecting this button, and it's giving me the other controls. But if you have the Pokeball, you have to hold it up, and you can kind of just pet her, and it's like it doesn't like that. Don't pet me there. No, it tells it. I like the responses it has. It's like no or yes or no. All right, so you can pet your Eevee if you're into that. It seems Eevee wants to play. Don't forget to show it love from time to time. Yes, the more love you show it, it'll get special effects, such as surviving with 1 HP or curing itself from conditions. Now, the item she just gave us can be found in the bag, and you can go to the clothing trunk. Now, I'm gonna go for the Eevee, and there's a hat we can give it. It's a sports cap. It's wearing the sports cap, and now we can also give it I believe it's a shirt. Yeah, it's like a weird shirt. You can't really see it that well on the Eevee. I think it looks much better in the Pikachu game. But when we're walking around, your Eevee now has a shirt on. And here we are in Route 1. And if you see that, Pokemon will no longer just randomly spawn and attack you. They'll actually appear in the overworld. And if you want to capture them, let's go for this PG, you just have to kind of walk into it. And you enter into, not a battle, but just this screen from Pokemon Go. You're basically getting the Pokemon Go screen. And again, you have the options to run away, get help. I don't know what help is. Oh, it's just a tutorial to help you catch. And then there's the bag. You have Pokeballs and you have berries. You can give a berry to a Pokemon and that will make them easier to capture. And then the last bit is when you say get ready, then you'll be able to toss your Pokeball. And if you hit the Pokemon, it's just basically gonna do its random Pokeball catching sequence, and given a random probability, it's either gonna catch it or not catch it. Once you do catch a Pokemon you don't have, you're gonna get a whole bunch of multipliers. So there's a multiplier for a new Pokemon, multiplier for getting the first throw, and technique bonus. I don't recall using a technique, but that'll all increase the amount of experience you get, because you will now get experience from capturing wild Pokemon instead of just from battling them. And then once you catch a Pokemon you haven't caught before, they'll appear in your Pokédex, so you get some information on them. So for example, Pidgeys, it says that they're very docile, and if attacked, it'll often kick up sand to protect itself rather than fight back. And this talks about the signature attack that Pidgey used to have, which was Sand Attack, which basically decreases the enemy's accuracy. Now, since we have captured this Pidgey, if you open up the party, you can also see it in our party. So there's a Pidgey in there. We can use it in battles now, but we're not actually going to be seeing a lot of battles, except for this guy right here. He's gonna pick a fight with us. Or not. What? See those ledges? It's a bit scary, but you can hop down on them to get back to Pallet Town quicker. Oh yeah, you can hop down ledges. Sorry, I doofed up the guy. Then here's a Rattata, the mouse Pokemon that our rival was in a picture with. Now, something you may notice is that they have different animations. The Pidgey was hopping around, this Rattata was something, oops. You can also miss the throw with a Pokeball, which is not good, because you don't get to use the Pokeball again. But on the bright side, Pokeballs are now half the price. They used to cost 200 Pokédollars, now they only cost 100. Now, if you already have captured a Pokemon, I did catch a Rattata before because I had to trade it over for the Clefairy. You're not gonna get a bonus for it. However, it'll still get added to your party. And the other thing that's not gonna happen is you're not gonna get the Pokédex page. Except I've already... Wait, what? Okay, yeah, you don't get the Pokédex page, you just get this random page. Ooh, and this is a new Pokemon that has never appeared this early in the game. And it is also version exclusive. This is the soonest we've ever seen version exclusives. And it's a Bellsprout. It's a grass type Pokemon, and it usually appears right around the second gym leader. But they're gonna give it to us super early this game. I don't mind. And those are the only 3 Pokemon you can get on Route 1. It's a Rattata, Pidgey, and depending on the game you have, either a Bellsprout or an Oddish. And as you can see, the Rattata is now on our team, and everybody's gaining the same amount of experience, which is pretty cool, and it makes it easier to level up and all that. Bellsprout prefers hot and humid places. It ensnares tiny bugs with its vines and devours them. Good thing we're not Caterpie or any other tiny bugs, because this thing would eat us up. And that is all the Pokemon on Route 1. We also have this guy, who used to give you potions in the older games, but now just says thank you for helping out. The Pokemart is a convenient chain selling all sorts of items, so please come visit. Oh, I know, I'll give you a sample. Here you go. Never mind, he does give you a potion. Your Pokemon may take damage when you battle other trainers. Be sure to use a potion on them if that happens. A potion will only restore 20 HP. It is useful early game, and later in the game 20 HP isn't much help. Okay, so this guy right here, he is our first trainer battle. Oh, but do you see this? Our partner Pokemon noticed something. You can actually go talk to them. And Billy found something in the plants. We got a raspberry. Your partner Pokemon will sometimes find random items, or they'll sometimes just enjoy the scenery. Either way, talking to them, you'll either get a good item or it'll increase their friendship, which helps you out. Again, it has the same effects as Eevee. So here goes our first trainer, and they just have to see you. They will walk up. It's not the same cool animations as in Sun and Moon, but I still like it. Trainers' eyes have met. I'll battle you with my favorite Pokemon. Let's see what this guy's favorite Pokemon is. Is it a Rattata? Just like Trainer Joey, but Ronnie? They rhyme. Yep, it's a Rattata. Lucky for us, this guy is not going to call us every 5 minutes to tell us how awesome his Rattata is. And instead, he will just fight us. Now, one thing I have noticed about these games is that, one, there's not that many battles at the start, and most of them you can just straight out win with your starter, which tends to be very overpowered. So a lot of the time you don't end up using the other Pokemon you have. Another cool thing, I don't know if you just noticed, is that you get Pokeballs for winning battles. Not so much with your rival, but you do get Pokeballs for winning battles. Which also helps, because they're expensive and you use them a lot. Huh, Vasko, that looks pretty pleased about something. Whoa. Oh, you beat another trainer? Good job. Well, since we're on the topic, the Pokemon sent out into battle might have lost some HP or PP. PP has to do with how much times you can use a move. You should take them to the Pokemon Center to get them healed up. It doesn't cost any money, and it doesn't take long at all either. Just remember, heal up after battles. This is usually pretty good advice for the older games, but if you don't take much damage, you don't really need to heal that much. Now this is Viridian City. This is the first city that you encounter. There is a Pokemon Center where once you go in, you can heal your team. So let's go check that out real quick. You have Nurse Joy, and as soon as you talk to her, you can say yes or no, and she will take your Pokemon for a few seconds. Maybe we can time out how long it takes her. I don't know. And if you see these, I believe these are the sprites they used in Pokemon Red and Fire Red and Leaf Green, I'm not too sure. But there is something missing. There's usually a PC box right here where you can deposit and withdraw Pokemon from your box. But that box is now in your bag. So if you go to your bag, there is, right there, first thing, Pokemon box. And you open it up, and there's your box, and you can see all the Pokemon you have. I have basically the only 2 Pokemon I have in my box are my starter Eevee and the Mew you get from the Pokeball. Which, by the way, as soon as you deliver Oak's parcels and you get to the point where I was when I started this episode, that is the first point where you can claim your Mew. And I just stored them in there because I don't plan on using them for this playthrough. Now there's other people you can talk to in the Pokemon Center. Have you battled a trainer? If your Pokemon's speed stat is higher than the opposing Pokemon's speed stat, you attack first. They'll give you useful tips. So if you're not too accustomed or you're brand new to the game, they'll give you information to help you out. There's a Pokemon Center in every town ahead. They charge no money, so don't be shy about healing your Pokemon. And in case you're worried about them being free, please feel free to read any of the books in the magazine rack in the corner. The receptionist told me to do so. It's so kind of her. And he is talking about these books. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of different books. Let's give them a read. It's a magazine called Pokemon Journal. There's a flashy advertisement on the back cover. Will you read it? Let's see what the ad is. If you use what are called secret techniques, you can chop trees, open paths, light up dark places, and so on. They're sure to be very useful. Don't you want to learn a secret technique now too? The Kanto Secret Technique Association. Secret techniques, by the way, are what has replaced HMs, and it's basically moves that Eevee will learn that it can use in the overworld. If you catch a lot of Pokemon, they'll be tucked away in your Pokemon box. You have a Pokemon box in your bag, too, don't you? Yeah, kid. Alright, so now we gotta show off that feature. But first, let's finish exploring Viridian Town real quick. There is this bug catcher. Oops, see again? We noticed something cool. Let's see what we noticed this time. Just having a good old time. Billy is happy, staring at the swaying flowers. So not every time they do that will you get an item. Alright, kiddo. Do you know there is actually 2 kinds of caterpillar Pokemon? Let's just say no. Let's just pretend we don't. Caterpie has no poison, but Weedle does. Watch that your Pokemon aren't hit with Weedle's poison sting. Again, this would be useful advice if they would actually battle us, but they don't. This blue building is the Pokemart, where you actually can buy items. Now, talking to these trainers inside of the Pokemart, they'll just give you random tips again. You get no benefit whatsoever. I've got to buy some potions. You never know when your Pokemon will need a quick healing. See, like they're not in the Pokemon Center. If you talk to some of the trainers, they'll give you stuff, but in the Pokemart, they'll just talk about random stuff and random items they have. And here you can buy and sell items. I'm going to buy Pokeballs, and the cool thing about Pokeballs is that if you purchase 10 of them, 10 Pokeballs, you will also get a Premier Ball as a reward, which is that white Pokeball that you can see on the counter right there. And it's pretty useful, that way you get basically a free Pokeball. All these other items will help you heal, but I will not be purchasing them any of them since we don't really have to deal with status conditions much. Next up, we have this dude chilling on a bench. Yo there, kid from Pallet Town. That's all he says. There's also cool signs you can read. The trainer's school, get schooled in school. I'm a teacher, we're gonna skip that. This just teaches you all the stuff about battles. Those Pokeballs you've got. You have Pokemon, don't you? If you're great, you can carry and use your Pokemon anytime and anywhere. Viridian City, the eternally green paradise. Now, if you go left of here, this will take you to the next route, Route 22. Now, this is actually the very last route you take because, well, there's new Pokemon in this area. Apart from just the Pidgey and Rattata and Bellsprout, I don't think there's actually a Bellsprout in this area. There's a Rattata right there. You also get Nidoran male and Nidoran female and Spearow. So first, let's catch ourselves a Nidoran male. These things were the best things you could capture in the older games, just because the Pokemon it evolved to is super strong and barely has any weaknesses. I don't know how well they play in this game, but you might want to catch one and keep one for your team, and I don't think it matters if it's the male or the female version. They are different species, so you do get points for them in the Pokédex. But their final evolutions are both very, very strong and very, very useful if you want to give yourself a boost throughout the game. So let's see what the Pokédex has to say about Nidoran male. Its large ears are always kept upright. If it senses danger, it will attack with a poisonous sting. So these guys are a poison and ground type Pokemon. Pretty useful. Now there's also Spearow, which kind of look like Pidgey, or not Pidgey. If you watch the Pokemon anime, these are the guys that attacked Ash and Pikachu in the very first couple of episodes. Now they will sometimes jump, so you can miss a throw. You have to watch out of their movements and make sure, usually the best time to throw it, you see that little icon pop up, it says throw. You also gotta make sure not to miss. I'm using the Pokeball, so you can overthrow. You're pecking around, and just be careful. You gotta watch out when they're doing animations, you cannot hit them. So, well, you can hit them, but your Pokeball will either bounce back or you'll completely miss, and you won't get to catch that Pokemon. And as you can see, everyone on the team can level up at the same time, and they can learn new moves. A lot of Pokemon learn moves through level up, and a lot of the moves are good, but usually you don't get powerful moves until later on. So for example, Growth will boost your special attack, I believe. And we'll also get a Spearow added to our Pokédex. Inept at flying high, however, it can fly around very fast to protect its territory. Now there is one more Pokemon in this area, but if it doesn't appear in this grass, we can walk over to the next part. Except that before that, we get to see our rival. Oh, hey Vasko! You hoping to make it to the Pokemon League someday too? That's where you can battle the strongest of all Pokemon trainers, the ones they call the Elite Four. I was hoping maybe I could get a glimpse of them, but the guard at the gate wouldn't let me pass without any badges from Pokemon gyms. Guess I'll just have to get there the long way, by battling and getting strong. So Vasko, guess that means it's on. And I guess he means battling strong trainers means battling me, because that's what he's gonna do. Alright, Trainer Fyrus, let's see. This time he has two Pokemon, and the first one he's gonna use is a Pidgey, which we can assume he caught at Route 1 because we haven't seen him go past Route 1 yet. He just got to Route 1, got to Vermilion City, and then did the same thing as us. Take a left onto this route, only to be told he cannot go any further. However, as I said before, starter is really overpowered in this game, and honestly it's gonna seem this easy at the start. As long as you know what you're doing. If you don't know, it's a nice way to explore. It's safe to explore. Like we can try out a different move. For example, we can try out Sing, which has a small chance of making the enemy fall asleep. See, they avoided the attack, but they're not doing much damage to us, so we can just kind of keep trying anyways. Alright, I'm gonna give it one more try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah, Pikachu has decided not to fall asleep this time. It'll just keep using Thunder Shock on us. And I will go for Pound, which is our only damaging move on Clefairy so far. And it will keep spamming its Thunder Shock attack. Now, against Eevee, that will do a bit more damage. However, Clefairy has a very strong special defense and a lot of HP, so we're basically safe against Fyrus's Pikachu. Now, this is an optional battle, by the way. You don't actually have to have this battle. You can skip this battle completely if you just don't go this way. You do not have to go this way when you're playing the game. Now, your rival does not give you Pokeballs for defeating him in this battle, so this is literally just a money and experience grab if you want to take it. Battling like this is just helping you get stronger, huh, Vasko? Oh well, that works too. Let's train hard, so that someday we both make it to the Pokemon League. Alright, Virus Boy, have a nice time running around. Now, you see that little shaky thing in the corner? Eevee's doing a little shake-a-shake. If you shake your Pokeball or your controller, whatever the heck you're playing with, Eevee will pop up. And look at it, it's looking all confident. And this is also a good time to play with it because it reminds you that you can pet it and stuff. And I'll just usually give it one pet and then move on. Now, there is a second part right here where you can encounter some more Pokemon. We can see a Nidorino running around. Let's see if a Nidoran female is gonna spawn in. And the sad part is sometimes while you wait for Pokemon to spawn in that you'd like to spawn in, you just gotta run around a lot. Now, another thing you can do is if you don't want to capture this Pokemon and you don't want to wait for it to despawn, you can enter into a battle and then just simply run away. And unlike in the previous games, there is no you can't escape. It just goes away and then it's gone. Now you still have the Rattata running around. This one's just gonna randomly run into me. That happens sometimes as well. No big deal, because if you don't want to catch it, you don't gotta catch it. You can just run away. And it's gone. Out of your face. And you can just walk it up. This one's trying to run into us as well. Now, Virus was talking about the Pokemon League, so that might help us out a bit, just to not talk about all these Rattata. The pinnacle of Pokemon training, the front gate. At the end of the game, you're going to get to walk in here. And there is these guards. There's 8 of them. And they will stop you. Only truly skilled trainers can pass through here. You don't have the Boulder badge yet. You must have it to get to the Pokemon League. Basically, for each badge, one of these guys will let you pass through, so you can get further and further along, but it's easiest if you just come at the very end when you already have all the badges. Although you certainly don't have to. You can come as soon as you get the first badge and you can walk through and see what's going on. Alright, these guys are still running around here. Oh, and there she be. Nidoran female. It's a little bluish version looking, much smaller than Nidoran male, and that is intentional. This is, while they don't have specifically genders yet in the first game, these were the only 2 Pokemon that had genders in general, but also gender differences, and they kind of stayed. So the other Pokemon do have gender differences as well, which I think we can see later on in the game, since we don't have any of those Pokemon yet. But for now, we'll just capture Nidoran female. And that is all the Pokemon you can find on this route. And a whole lot of level ups. As you can see, leveling up your team is pretty easy. A mild-mannered Pokemon that does not like to fight. Beware, its small horn secretes venom. Now, since Nidoran female doesn't like to fight, it gets tucked away in the box. That's not the reason it's getting tucked away in the box. The reason it's getting tucked away is because we have 6 Pokemon in our party. So if we open up the Pokemon box, you can see right here we got our Clefairy, we got our Pidgey, Rattata, Bellsprout, Nidoran male, Spearow, and then any additional Pokemon after 6 will just get sent directly into your box. Now, if you want to put that Pokemon on your team, you can just press A and then add to your party, and then it'll let you pick who to replace. And there you go, now it takes its spot. Now it's in your team. Simple as that. Now you can jump over the ledges. There can be Pokemon flying around outside of the grass, which is pretty cool. And we can return to Viridian City, since there is just a little bit more to explore. There is this little trainer. Wow, your Pokemon is riding on you. That's super cute. But I think my Pokemon would be a bit too heavy. That's why I have it walk with me instead. And then there's an Oddish, which is version exclusive to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And then she tells us that we can take out Pokemon from the Pokeballs. I have already done that with Clefairy, but let me, I guess, show off that feature real quick as well for some other Pokemon. So since she has her Oddish, let's have our Bellsprout right here take out of Pokeball. And you see there's a star along it, so you can easily see who is outside with you. So now we'll have Bellsprout follow us around. And then here is a random building that we cannot go in. It's the Viridian City Pokemon Gym, and it's locked. So this is actually the last gym you get to go in because it's locked for reasons. This Pokemon gym is always closed. I wonder who the gym leader is. And if this old guy doesn't know who the gym leader is, how are we supposed to know who the gym leader is? This means that our only path left to go is this way, Route 2. There's also all these signs saying trainer tips, shake the second controller to call in a support trainer. Enjoy your adventure together. This will actually be the last feature I'm going to show off to you guys, and then we'll end off this episode here because it's getting kind of long. So you can actually take a second controller, and if you give it a shake, come on second controller, do a little shake, another trainer will pop in. So if you have a sibling at home with you that's playing along, you can have them join and they'll walk around. They'll also have one of the Pokemon from your party that will be added as a Pokemon that follows them around, which is pretty neat if you ask me. Now, this also means that you get to catch Pokemon at the same time. So let's see if we can find somebody in the wild over here. That's a pretty cool feature. It makes the game extremely easy, but it's also pretty fun to do. Only one of you has to walk into the wild Pokemon for the catch sequence to activate. And now you have 2 Pokeballs. Now, for the other player to get ready, you have to press A. And I don't know, can you throw it separately? Yeah, you can. Now the best part is, I guess one of you can throw the Pokeball and it'll work. But the cool feature is when both of you throw the Pokeballs at the same time. And that'll give you some extra experience as well. Now for the rest of this game, I'm not going to be using the second trainer, just because it makes the game extremely easy, and I'm playing by myself. It's weird to use 2 controllers at the same time, to control 2 separate things. Billy wants to learn Minimize. Now if you have more than 4 moves, to learn a 5th move, you're going to have to delete one of the older moves. And for that intention, I will actually delete Growl, which lowers the enemy Pokemon's attack stat, and instead, I'll have it learn Minimize, which increases my evasiveness, meaning less moves will hit me, I'm not going to take as much damage. Might as well make the starter more OP, right? Now, if you shake the other controller, the trainer will disappear so that you don't have to deal with them. If you accidentally put them in, shake controller to get them in, shake controller, come on controller, shake controller to get them out. Alright, and that's all I'm gonna do for this introductory part. Whoops. And next time we're going to go north of this city and we're going to go fight our first gym leader. Let me know what you guys think of this series. Do you want me to keep it more informative, or should I go more fun? What do you also think of this game? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.